First of all, we have been working in a region where Expeditio is based. This is Boka Kotorska region. It is a bay. And we have been working with three municipalities, Kotor, Tivat and Herceg Novi. And the main result of our project was developing of the draft of proposal for the local cultural policies for these three municipalities. We have been working closely with the people from these municipalities, both officials and people from cultural center, cultural institutions. And this process was highly participative, which is not a common principle when it comes to the development of strategical documents in Montenegro so far. And as a part of this activity of developing local cultural policies, we have done a lot of surveys, researches, interviews, focus groups, mapping public spaces and other activities with the aim to contribute to this good final document. Okay, since the main result of our project will be the local cultural policies for these three municipalities, we as an organization expect that our future activities will go in the direction of implementation of some of the priorities from these strategies, especially in the fields that we are dealing with culture, cultural heritage, architecture and public spaces. And we would like that what has been done in this previous period related to priorities of culture of the region would be somehow a priority for us as an organization in the future. So we will use this document as a framework for our future activities. This is the first. The second one, we have been developed through Sostenuto a map of public spaces, which are now some neglected, some has a good potential for cultural activities, and in this phase we only have mapped these public spaces, around 177 public spaces we have mapped through the project. And then the future step would be to do some concrete activities related to maybe some small reconstruction works or some cultural activities on these public spaces, etc. So projects on public spaces will be our next step. And then the third one, since this experience of developing local cultural policies in these three municipalities is the first in Montenegro of this kind, other municipalities are supposed to do similar documents in their territories. So we expect that the model that we have developed for these three municipalities will be used for other municipalities in Montenegro. As I mentioned previously, participatory planning was our main approach. So we wanted to involve as many as possible cultural stakeholders and citizens in the process of development on local cultural policies or strategies. And at the same time, it was the main challenge of this project. And since that is not a common practice in Montenegro, no matter if we talk about cultural policies development or any other policies development or planning, usually public participation is coming at the final stage of the planning process. It is usually not common practice to involve different stakeholders or citizens in the first stages, in the stages of drafting some strategies or public policies. In this case of creating local cultural policies for these three municipalities I have mentioned, we have tried to involve people, stakeholders and citizens from the very first stage. for the very first drafts, and we have been involving them through the whole process. And I think that is some kind of new experience, not only for us, but also for somehow Montenegrin experience. But that was also some kind of an obstacle, because people have not been used, especially public authorities, they have not been used to this kind of process so often. And some of them, they didn't trust this process so much. Especially because process was initiated by us as an NGO. And it was also kind of concern for some, especially public institutions, that the process initiated and coordinated by an NGO can somehow mean perhaps a lack of control for public sector in particular. So that was for us the main challenge, but I think as the process has been developing, that more and more trust has been built, because we were very transparent and the media were covering a lot the whole process, and we have produced a website and people have been engaged a lot. So I think that at the final stage this process will be a success example.